Welcome back, basketball fans, to Season 6 of the Basketball Champions League, and welcome to the very first ever episode of BCL Trash Talk. At BCL Trash Talk, we will be recording weekly, previewing the game of the week under the new BCL format.
Your hosts, Josh Pat and Igor Churkovic, coming up on the show.
We will speak to two guests who will talk to us about life in the BCL, both on and off the court.
Main event, Josh speaks to Burgos captain Vitor Benite and Lawson of Besiktas.
Both Igor and myself will give our predictions on who we think will win the opening game of the week between Besiktas and San Pablo Burgos in Talking Heads, followed up by a head-to-head where Igor will test my knowledge of the Basketball Champions League.
Hello guys, I'm Vitor Benite, and this is the BCL Trash Talk.
Vitor Benite is our first ever guest of the BCL Trash Talk. Vitor, bienvenidos amigo. How are you doing? And first of all, thank you for joining us on the very first ever episode.
Thank you, Josh. It's a pleasure. I'm good, man. Just starving to get this season ready.
Now, of course, this is a massive time for San Pablo Burgos and for you as a player because you guys are coming off back-to-back championships. I mean, I'm going to go right into it. What is going to be the expectations for you as a team, for your team this season, going into another year of the Basketball Champions League?
Man, I'm going to be try to be the most sincere I can. I think the expectations are high, especially because now we got fans coming back to the gym. Everybody wants us to keep, trying to get another title and being able to compete. But we understand that we got a whole new team, new coach, and maybe it's going to take some time to get into the chemistry, the rhythm of the game. But I mean, we're anxious because we know we got a good team and maybe try to do it again.
Now, you mentioned a very big thing there, of course. The fans are coming back. Last season, I mean, it was a spectacular show, but, probably the most important people to be a part of the Basketball Champions League were the fans. What's it going to be like to have those San Pablo Burgos fans back and cheer you the whole way, possibly on the way to another three-peat?
Exactly. I mean, it's something else, I can speak for myself, but in the end, the whole team, I think, feels the same way that our fans, they're different. We got a full gym every day, it's packed, and the environment that they create is really nice to play against us and to play with this jersey, because in the end, it's a party, and we want to bring that same energy that we had last year's without the fans so they can enjoy as well, because we were in a row and we want to just keep it going, keep the same winning streak and let's see what happens.
But is it now much harder defending that championship as opposed to the first time when you won it?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of a cliche in sports, but because it's true, to maintain yourself in the highest spot is always the toughest thing. Probably because when you're winning, is more difficult to understand the things you have to get better, as a team or as a player. And when you're losing, you're always aiming to somebody to see what they're doing, and it's a process that is kind of easier, to get there. First year, I think we made it, but everybody was talking about the pandemic and how this changed the roles in teams and everything. So when we won on the second time, I think for everybody was like, even for us, that we deserve it. We deserve it both ways. So I think that was the most impressive thing. But now to do it a third time, I think now we as players of this team, we got to think just about making history, doing something that nobody, even our fans, I think they believe it can happen. So by bringing this motivation, I think can be one of the main things for us as a team.
What was one of the greatest atmospheres, an opposing atmosphere that you played in? I mean, there are some big clubs in the Basketball Champions League that have phenomenal fans, but what was one of those arenas you stepped in and you just felt the aura of that atmosphere?
For sure it was when we played IK, was in Murcia when we played the Final Four in Athens. And we played the semifinal against IK in the year that they won. And it was just, I mean, the environment. I'm from Brazil. I've played in in football teams, with fans like that. So it's something else. I think it's the kind of environment that is just, it gets you more nervous than usually, because you just feel the pressure of, makes you want to play, but at the same time it's something that is impressive. So I think that semifinal was, and we were almost there, we almost won that game. So it was just an amazing feeling.
Now, of course, a lot of basketball fans all over Europe, they know what a great shooter you are from the perimeter. They know that you like to turn it up in games. But tell me about Vita Benite off the basketball court. What do you like to do in your free time?
Man, I'm just I'm a really like family guy. I like I during the whole pandemic, I was playing a lot of guitar. Just trying to get in some learning process about something different. But I love music just in general. But in the end, just a normal guy like everyone else.
Obviously now, you guys are preparing for the opening game of the Basketball Champions League. Your opponents, Besiktas, a very big team from Turkey. What's been the mindset of your team in preparation for this opening game, knowing that you're on a journey to go for that three-peat?
Man, Josh, if I tell you the truth, it's I think the first game we're trying to get into the spot where we're thinking more about ourselves, how to approach the game in a way that we can bring the rhythm. We're playing at home, first game against an amazing team that we know there's going to have talent, there's going to have the will, to just come here, because everybody knows our fans, and now everybody knows that we're the back-to-back champions. So I think right now our main goal is to approach every game with the kind of intensity that's going to make difficult for the other team to face us. So, and going through this intensity in defense, we can just prepare the game, as a whole. But I think this mindset of just, okay, we're the champions, but we got to play like champions, we got to show them, being, nobody can come into our home and have more power of will than us. So I think kind of is this mindset, because the game can go different ways. We have players to play different styles of basketball. So I think on that we're prepared.
Last thing I want to ask you, of course, because, a lot of fans, they see you guys on the court, they follow you. I mean, the Burgos fans are unbelievable. But a moment that you've had almost like a comedy moment with your teammates for the last 2 years. One moment in practice, whether that was someone said something funny, the coach got upset. What's one moment you've enjoyed with your teammates, sort of beyond basketball, if you like?
Man, I think we had a lot of moments like that here in Burgos. The last 2 years with Joan, the coach we had on the back-to-back champions, I think he was a main guy trying to show that we could enjoy, besides basketball. So I think a funny moment that we had was before going to the first game in Athens, when we won the first Champions League. Before the game, we knew that Raciel Rivero, his wife was pregnant, and he couldn't tell us in the beginning because it was the beginning of her pregnancy. But our coach, he ordered some shots for us to all like toast. It was the day before the game, so we started everybody was having kind of like a shot. I don't know if I can even tell this, but it's the truth. So it was like because Papi, we used to call him Papi. He was going to be a dad, so it was one of the moments that everybody just kind of, it was nice because it kind of like took all the pressure, we're just having a shot a day before the game, the most important game in the history of the club, but it kind of brought us together and we started having fun, and it was a really important moment for me.
That was Vita Benite of San Pablo Burgos, two-time champion of the BCL. Now, let's meet the new superstar on the block, Besiktas' new power forward, Lawson.
Hi, this is Lawson, and you are listening to BCL Trash Talk.
Okay, welcome now to BCL Trash Talk. We are here with Besiktas' new signing, Lawson. Welcome. Thank you for coming on, my brother.
Man, no problem. Glad to be here.
So first of all, this is your first experience now playing professional basketball in Europe, correct?
Correct.
And obviously Monday, I mean, this is like you're right into it. You're about to play not only a top team, you're about to play the two-time defending champions of the Basketball Champions League. I mean, how have you settled into Besiktas? But more importantly, how are you guys preparing for this big matchup?
Man, we had a tough game last Sunday. We played it's so hard to pronounce the names out here. Vegetables or something like that. Anyway, so that was a tough game. So I think these two games are definitely preparing us to go out there and compete at a high level for the Champion League.
Now, obviously, last season you were playing in South Korea. You were playing in the KBL. Let's just quickly talk about that transition for playing in such a high league in Asia to all of a sudden making that transition to now playing in one of the top leagues in Europe.
Yeah, the transition has been great for me personally because we have a great coaching staff. We have a lot of great young players, and the difference between Asia, you only can play one American at a time, and here you can play with as many Americans as you have on the team. So I think that transition with more Americans is easier for me because it's easy to communicate and things like that. But Asia was fun, and I think Turkey will be even more funner.
Obviously, now the Besiktas fans, they know about you. They're very excited about you playing, but just talk about yourself as a player. What can the basketball fans here in Europe expect to see from Diedrich Lawson's when the jump ball has happened?
Diedrich Lawson, he's a versatile four-man, rebound, pass, shoot the ball. Mainly my whole life, I've been playing the four. I can play some five, depending on like the type of basketball that we're trying to play or matchup problems and things like that. I always been a scorer since college. Never averaged less than 15, and always got double. So that's like my main thing, going out there, scoring and rebounding, try to be a leader for the young guys that we have.
Now, of course, we like to know what goes on outside of basketball, and I think you've alluded to me that you like to cook, right?
Man, I love to cook.
We're not just talking about cooking it on the court, of course. We're actually talking about going in the kitchen and cooking it up. I mean, you spent last season playing in Korea. What's some things that you learned when you were in Korea? I mean, what do you like to cook? What's your main dish?
Man, in Korea, so like, so the first thing that I learned how to cook was like fried rice. So like when I first got there, we had like a two week thing where you had to quarantine, you couldn't leave the room. So then the team used to bring me groceries and stuff like that. So I had like a couple of dishes where I tried, it wasn't good. I threw it away, like try again. I had nothing but time in my hand for 2 weeks. So I learned how to cook fried rice, with eggs and throw in like vegetables, chicken and things like that. And I learned how to cook salmon pretty well. So and I just used to play around with it for 2 weeks. Then once I got out of quarantine, I went to the stores. I started learning other dishes and stuff that I wanted to try. So then like that just became like one of my hobbies.
Last thing I'm going to ask you, of course, now you're playing overseas. You're away from Memphis's home. You're a long way from Memphis. Have you been able so far since being in Turkey or a year of being in Korea, have you been able to pick up any of the local language?
Ooh, I know one word, Bubba.
That Korean or Turkish?
That's Turkish. It mean like bro. We say bro. My friend like Bubba in in Korea. I knew a couple of words. Bally. I mean like hurry up. Like the coaches always say that, and I'm like wait, he telling us to move faster. Like yeah. I'm like, oh, of course. And I knew how to say, and y'all say yours, like they greeting word for good morning, goodbye, things like that. So I picked up very small language. I'm gonna try to learn some more Turkish this year.
Well, Diedrich, man, we're happy to have you in the Basketball Champions League. I guess the fans in Turkey, they already know about you, but fans all of Europe, they're gonna see, what kind of dunks are you gonna be putting on when the game gets going?
Man, I'm gonna try to. I made a bet with one of my teammates. I think last week. I told I was gonna get over. How many dunks? I think we bet $100 and get over like 20 dunks this year, something like that. Cause like in Europe, it's very physical. Like it's hard to get to the rim even to get dunks. I think out of 5 games we played, I think it's only been like 3 dunks.
So 17 more to go, basically.
Yeah. So we got a couple more to go. So I think I can get it done.
Brilliant, brilliant. Diedrich, look forward to Monday's game. It is going to be a huge matchup. Besiktas, I mean, you guys look stacked this year. San Pablo Burgos, they need to make history to be that only one of few teams to win a three-peat here in Europe. But like I said, best of luck to you and thank you for joining us, brother.
I appreciate it, man.
Okay, guys, so you heard the guy from Burgos, you heard the guy from Besiktas. Now you're going to hear the two of us telling you who's going to win the game, because this is the main event. This is the biggest game to start the season, biggest game of the week. That's why it's played on Monday. Josh, you've got 30 seconds to explain why Burgos are going to win this one.
Simple answer to that. They are going for a three-peat. They're the only team in the history of the Basketball Champions League to win back-to-back championships. Okay, you may have alluded before in the beginning of last season, they lost their opening night, but I think they're going to be more dedicated than ever. Let's remember Tyrese McGee, Vita Benitez, Suleiman Bremer. This team is stacked. No other team has the chance to make history such as San Pablo Burgos, and it's going to start on opening night against Besiktas. Besiktas are a great team, but we have seen how inconsistent they are. San Pablo Burgos are winning. Now.
Oh, you were so close. I'm going to take 1 second off of it.
Close. I was close. So close. But Igor, you're going to tell me now exactly how Besiktas are going to win the opening night against San Pablo Burgos. Lay it on me. You've got 30 seconds starting now.
I'm going to tell you, you mentioned it. Burgos are the defending champions, but they did struggle as defending champions against Ostend last season. And they've got a new coach in Jan Tabak. He's an excellent coach. He's my fellow Croat, but he's going to need time. And at the same time, Besiktas, they're going to see their chance. You always want to beat the champion. This is their chance to send out a message. And being back in this competition, there's no better way of sending the message than beating the defending champions.
30 seconds. Explain. But I'm still going with San Pablo Burgos.
Yeah, I'm still feeling comfortable about Besiktas winning it. That's it for the head-to-head part. Now we're going to move on to the quiz part, where you can see that Josh has no clue about the BCL. So being editor for the BCL website got me a lot of job over the last week, because I came up with not one, not two, not three, but 8 different quizzes about this season and the competition itself. Each group has its own quiz. Now we're going to use one of questions from each group and test Josh's knowledge about the BCL. Josh, you ready?
I don't know, Matt, because your questions are they're tough. And I'm not a great student, but yeah, let's go. Let's just do it. Let's get this over with.
Okay, I'm going to start you off with Group A. This should be fairly simple for somebody who's been around the BCL. Lenovo Tenerife reached the Final Four in each season of the BCL so far. True or false?
False. They did not make it in the 2017-18 season of the Basketball Champions League.
Throws it down!
You are correct. And indeed, if we're going to be technical, they didn't make it in 2020 or 2021 because they lost in the quarterfinals too. But you had a great point, because they lost to UCAM Murcia in 2018, narrowly missing out on the Final Four back then. Let's move to Group B. You've got 1 point out of 1 possible. I'm going to have so much fun with people trying to pronounce this name. Arget Biemstal Ostrov Wielkopolski. They're the 6th different Polish team in the BCL. Only one of them made the playoffs. Which one? Was it Torun, Anvil, Rosa Radom, or Zielona Gora?
Stelmet Zielona Gora, 2018, I believe it was.
Give this man some credit!
You are indeed correct. They got to the playoffs in 2017-18 and lost to Monaco in the round of 16. So 2 out of 2, it's a good start for you. Maybe it's just because you read about the A and B groups. But we're moving on to Group C. And we are moving to a team that we already mentioned. Unicaja Malaga have a former BCL winner on their roster. Which one? Norris Cole, Tim Abromaitis, Michael Eric.
Abromaitis won it with Lenovo Tenerife.
He has been terrific.
You are correct again. You really know your BCL stuff, man. I mean, I kind of underestimated you, but this B question should be a bit tougher to you, because it's not really about the BCL.
Well, then I'm in trouble.
Yeah, I mean, it's about the 4 teams that are playing the BCL in Group D. Which of these clubs never won their domestic league title? Was it Falco Sambate, AEK,
Treviso.
Nutribullet Treviso or Vefriga, I guess. You already know the answer because it's not the same team as the legendary Benetton Treviso, which ceased to exist in 2012, and Universo Basket Treviso took over in 2012, and now got as Nutribullet Treviso to the group stage over here. So you're still a perfect record for you. Moving on to Group E. Coach Likoyanis has an interesting first name for a person at the helm of PAOK. What's the name of Coach Likoyanis?
There's still 4 seconds remaining. The Great Britain called timeout.
I'm not going to offer you anything because this
As
is
they
new.
would say in Greek, for I don't know, Dexero.
So the arch rivals of PAOK are, of course, Aris, and Coach Likoyanis' name is Aris, and this is the only Aris that PAOK fans love.
Wow. Wow.
Oh, so you
I'm
got
gonna
a
message.
negative point here.
Yeah, I'm gonna message my PAOK friend. I'm asking that now, and then I'm gonna say, "You do love Aris after all." Oh, okay, I like that.
Exactly,
That was a good question.
Exactly. I think that basically 90% of posts on social media about PAOK and about Coach Likoyanis, the first comment is, "This is the only artist that I like." A familiar Group F. We're moving to Group F. A familiar face is coming back to the BCL with Kalev Kramo. Kamari Murphy tortured the rims when he was playing for need a hint?
Yes, please.
Germany.
Oh, it was. Oh no. It wasn't
another
Broge
one?
Bamberg. It wasn't Broge Bamberg. It was. I
It
want to.
wasn't- I'm gonna help you. It wasn't Three Little Birds. It wasn't Buffalo Soldier. It wasn't Iron Lion Zion.
Yeah, can you give me the season? Can you give me the season at least?
I'm gonna tell you that the season was 1920.
1920. So,
1920.
they played in orange, didn't they?
Yeah. So I'm not gonna give you a point because it's taking you too long and you had too many hints. I'm gonna tell you a story. The way this club was founded
Yep.
was a bunch of them were sitting in the office and they said, "We're gonna start a basketball club. What are we gonna name it?" And somebody said, "Put the radio on, and the first song that comes on, we're gonna name it after that." And the first song was Bob Marley's Rastaman Vibration, and the club's
Yep.
name is
Rastaveshta. Rastavesh, that's it. Rastavesh. Yes. I'm trying because it was that they had that amazing atmosphere. They had this and
Yes.
this is so evident of German basketball. The fans are just unbelievable with the drums. They're sitting down, they're clapping. Rastaveshta had one of the smallest arenas, but the atmosphere was like, I gotta go there. But then the pandemic came, of course. Rastaveshta,
course.
I gotta remember that name.
Yeah, so that's the second wrong answer for you. You've got 2 questions remaining, so still a good chance to finish 6 of 8, which is not bad at all. Let's move to Group G. Hapoel Unet Holon's new coach, Maurizio Buscaglia, is also the head coach of A, Belgium, B, Italy, C, Netherlands.
It's definitely not Italy. It's
Nope.
definitely not Belgium because that's the guy
Nope.
who's the head coach of Philo Ostend. It is the Netherlands.
That is correct, and the guy who is coaching Ostend is Dario Gergio, of course. Buscaglia started his coaching career when he was just 25 in Bologna in some lower division clubs, and basically the club that made him a big name in Italy is Trento. He was there on 2 occasions, 2003 to 2007, and then in magnificent run from 2010 to 2019. Maurizio Buscaglia turned into one of the best Italian coaches, and I'm so happy that he's hanging around here. So you got a good answer there, and this is your chance to finish 6 of 8. And this is my favorite question. Group H, the J in Beşiktaş JK refers to a part of the city in Istanbul.
Oh
Group
no.
You know that they're called BJK.
Yeah, I got that.
So what's the J? B is obviously Beşiktaş. K is obviously club.
You said part of the city. This is Istanbul. I have 4 good friends from Istanbul who have told me this before, and I forgot it as well. No,
I'm just
sorry.
asking. It's not. It's not a part of the city. I'm asking you, is it true or false? It's false.
Oh,
It's
sorry.
not part of the
Okay.
city.
Okay.
It's not a part of the city. J stands for gymnastic.
Yes.
Klubu, which means the gymnastics club, and basically every single section of the Besiktas club as a whole has a BJK acronym to it. So you did a good job there. I'm gonna give you like 5.5 of 8 because of this last question where you said no, but it turned out to be a correct answer.
I gotta listen, dude. I just it's what my teachers used to say. This is why I was no good at tests. My teachers used to say, Josh, you don't listen. And I used to say back to them, oh baby, like that.
Yeah, man. It was a pleasure talking to you. I think we're done for this week, right?
Honestly, man, this is what we're going to be doing every week, of course. Igor, everybody knows you as one of the greatest, one of the best influences for international basketball. I want to be like the great Jeff Taylor. I want to be like, of course, like my father, Mick Bett. But this is where it starts. This is BCL Trash Talk. You've seen it this week. The game of the week is coming. We're getting ready. Look out for next week. This is, as I just mentioned, BCL Trash Talk with myself, Josh Bett, and the great Igor Churkovic. Did I get it right?
Excellent, man.
Havala.